I've been working on these doors. I've been a door installing fool. I just put this one on for this little closet. Oh, that was kind of tough. A little confined space, but that's not what this particular video is about. What am I going to do? Well, Mommy was mentioning to me that she wanted that light fixture reinstalled in her closet because when she gets up early in the morning to go exercise, she says, I got to turn my light on my cell phone to get in here. And I says, well, just turn the light on. She goes, but there's no light in the closet. And I forgot. See, we moved in here a little while ago, and I'm still doing things. I just installed this door here the other day. And now I guess I better put this light fixture back up. If you want to learn how to do that, it's very simple. Okay, if you want to learn how to do that, stick around. Yeah, you might be saying, hey, Joe, that's all fine and dandy. You make it look kind of easy when you do electrical stuff, but I'm not an electrician. Well, neither am I. I know how to do it. I'm not a professional licensed electrician, but hey, if I can install this light fixture, so can you. Okay? And you can, it'll be basically the same process if you're installing a brand new one, but I didn't need a brand new one. This one was still pretty good, so when I took it down, I was careful with it. Made sure I cleaned that all out. Mommy cleaned it all nicely. And usually you can figure out how to get something apart. I wasn't quite sure how to get that off, and finally I figured out you unscrewed it onto here, and it was up there for 15 years. It had never been touched to my knowledge because it was so hard to unscrew, but I got it. Okay, so before I get up there and do anything, I want to make sure this light switch is turned off. And did you know sometimes electricians or homeowners, when they reinstall a light switch, they might not know what they're doing, and sometimes it's very simple to get this upside down, okay? And I'm pretty sure this one's right side up, but I can get up there and undo the wire nuts. I mean, I could take this off too, and there should be a little thing up here that says top. You know, if it's top here and you have to look at it backwards, upside down, then obviously you know this is backwards. Okay, so you could do that, but I'm gonna get up there and I'll undo those wire nuts, and I'll be real careful. I've got a little wire tester in here somewhere. Where is my wire tester? I used it the other day. It should be in here. Come on. Oh, here it is. See, and you always want to make sure to not make the assumption that your wire tester is working. What if this stopped working for some reason? One of these wires got kinked or something. So I can just put it in an electrical outlet. See, the orange light is on. I wiggle it around a little bit, and the orange light is on. So I know the wire tester is at least working. So make sure you do that, obviously, before you make the assumption. You know, every time you assume something, it's always like 1 in a million, and it just happened to you because you didn't check things out first. I guess I might as well show you this part. I wasn't going to show you it, but you know, because this had already been installed from before, there's a little screw up here for where you connect the ground wire. That ground wire is already screwed in there because on the back side of a light fixture, lots of times you only have the black and white wire coming out. Okay? Oh, that's right. And when I took these off, because they're using yellow wire nuts, well, I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, I'm just going to test this. And it should be off, and it is. And if I want to double check that, I can turn the light switch on, get back up here, and the light is on, the tester, okay? Sometimes you might you might look at a light switch thinking, oh yeah, I got it off, and then forget that it's a three-way light switch. Like maybe it's controlled in another location too. Usually not in a closet, okay? Because you might think, oh yeah, I got the power shut off, and you're actually turning it on or something because the light switch was up and you thought it was a single pull light switch and not a three-way switch or something like that. Okay, so make sure the power is off. And see, these wire nuts, these are yellow wire nuts, and there's only one wire up there, and on the back side of your light you're going to have little stranded wire. See how small this is? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist this all together. See on here, there's only a black and white wire. So black to black, white to white. How hard could that be? But I'm going to go through it in a little bit of a detail. But because these wires are so small, see that? You could get away with orange wire nuts. Orange wire nuts are one size smaller than this. I'm surprised they used yellow, because sometimes you might tighten something up and it might start spinning. Then you don't want that. And you know, when I looked up there, those wires look like 12 gauge wires, not 14 gauge wire. If that was 14 gauge wire, the wires would be actually a little bit smaller in diameter. Okay, those wires there. And see, because I took the yellow wire nuts off, I wanted to use the same wire nuts again, and I couldn't just screw them up there without the other wires on there because it just spun. So do you see what I did to the ends? I just rolled it over, and then I could take my yellow wire nuts that I just took off, and I can screw them back up there. And they were up there for weeks for me painting the ceilings, the walls, and doing all the construction work and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, hey, I'll just reuse the yellow wire nuts. Lots of electricians frown upon using the existing wire nuts, but these are hard plastic ones. I don't think there's any problem with using these, okay? But if you have a question, you can throw these away and you can get new wire nuts. And if I was going to be installing this brand new, I would use the orange wire nuts. Now, if there were two wires coming together, and then two white wires, two black wires, for something like that, and I took the light fixture on there, you know, I would use the yellow wire nuts for that. See? Okay. So certain aspects of it, I do. Okay, let's just take a look at this here real quick. I'll try to get my fingers out of the way. With the stranded wire, I'm just going to take the end and twist it all together. Sometimes this kind of frays and comes apart when you're undoing the wire nuts. And depending who installed it, because see, I'm right-handed, so I'm twisting this way. The last person might have been left-handed when he put the wire nuts on. It could have frayed all this stuff out. And then, because I'm twisting it a different way, I just have to work at it, okay? And these wires are fine. They're sticking out plenty, okay? These are, let's get you up here. See how long those are? Look. Now, does it really need to be that long? No, but when I go up there on those wires, okay, this is the black wire. I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it around the black wire that's up on the ceiling. Okay. And now, if I didn't do that, I would have to cut this shorter and then just put it on straight. So I could do it that way too. And see, there's insulation on the back side of here, and there's two mounting screws. You see these? See these two mounting screws? And you see how it's bigger and then the slot goes smaller, see? Well, that's designed for their installation screws. You could put the screws right up in the ceiling box first, let the screws stick down far enough, fit it over the bigger hole, okay? And then you do that on both sides, and then as you take this, then you twist it to get into the smaller area before you tighten the wire, or before you tighten the heads of the screws. Well, I don't have the existing mounting screws, so what do you suppose I'm going to use? I'll show you here in a minute. Ah, yes, indeedy. My old standby drywall coarse threaded screws. Now, I've always carried these around. These are 1.25 inches. See here, 1.25 inches. Coarse thread. Coarse thread. Drywall screws. You know, they also have these in fine threads. You use the fine threads for sheet metal. So when you go to the store, make sure if you want coarse thread, you get the box that's coarse thread. Don't put these into wood, or don't put the thin sheet metal screws into wood and stuff. They don't have as much of a holding power. And see, I've got, of course, I got two sizes here, and I always carry drywall screws. See, these are 1 5/8. So I carry 1 inch. Do you know they have 1 inch? I never even knew that a couple years ago. I thought the smallest was 1.25 inches, but they have 1.25 inches, 1 inch, 1 5/8. I also have 2 inch, I have 2.5 inch, and I have 3 inch. I never know when I'm going to use these screws. Okay? And normally, for something like this, I would use the 1.25 inch screws. Okay, but this time I'm going to use 1 5/8 because I want the screw to stick down a little bit, down lower, coming from the mounting box up here. Because I'm just going to take it and screw it right to the mounting box mounting screws. You see there's one screw there, and see that screw right there? Right, that hole, that goes up into a screw. But see how it's indentated up higher than the ceiling? Well, that's taken, if I use the 1.25 inch sheetrock screws, I've already got 1/4 inch of it that's sticking above the ceiling, don't I? And so that's almost like using a 1 inch screw. And plus, once I get the screws in there, I've got to screw it up far enough in there because see, it's got a metal clip thing on there. That means the first 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. Beyond that, I've got no threads. So I've already wasted 3/8 of my screw. And it's going to be really tight if I use the 1.25 inch. So I'm going to break down and use my 1 5/8. I always try to use the smaller screw first if I can, because you know these screws are expensive. So obviously the 1 5/8, because they're longer, you don't get as many in the box as the 1.25 inch. Okay, and so I'm going to use the 1 5/8, and see they just barely fit here. If anything, they're too tight. But see, if I hold my mouth, well, ooh, maybe not. Oh yeah, see, there I got it. You gotta hold your mouth just right, and see, it kind of has to go in at an angle. So when I get up there, I might not be able to put those in there, and I might have to do it a different way. And I want to see something on here. No, that's number 6. See, sometimes they come in different thicknesses and measurements. Sometimes you can see a number 8, and I think that tells you the size of the head. Now, see, that's number 6, and I've done one of these light fixtures before, and it took a little bit of doing to get the screw up in there. Okay. Because you're going to be on the back side. But I'm going to try it with the 1 5/8 screws. Okay, and then I'll just have to have it up there and kind of work at it a little bit and get it through that hole. And I think I'll be able to do it. All right, we're gonna try that anyways. And so my first thing, I've got to kind of do some prep, do a little prep work on this, on these wires. We'll just get it like this. Hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I mean, you should get the gist of everything. And let's just move these wires out of the way. So I'm going to take these 1 5/8, and they go right up in this box. It's the plastic box. So see, I've got this thing sticking way down, so I got plenty of room. I don't want to use anything longer than the 1 5/8. I don't know how long the threads go up inside this thing. And the last thing I want to do is get it up in there and crack something out, okay? And so now I've got to decide on these. Do I want to pull that back out straight? And if I want to, I can take my pliers, grab my pliers there, grab this, and kind of pull it down. And it's kind of tricky because you got to hold this at the right place, you know. Then you've got to re-straighten this thing out, and if you're bending it too much, you might be concerned to think, okay, am I bending it too much? Is it going to break off? Generally, it's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna break off. Now I'm gonna do this one different for you, okay? I'm gonna cut this one off, and you can use your metal cutters. And did you know if you don't have any metal cutters like that, you can cut them off with a pair of pliers. Let's just see. There's a little slot in here on the pliers. I'll show you that here. Let's see if I can show you. Right? That little section from there down. Did you know that cuts wire? Yeah, you might not have known that. Just for that reason, good thing you're watching my video, right? So, I mean, I'm not even going to pull that out of the way. I'm going to get this up there, and I'm going to cut that off, if I can. Oh, look at that. It's not. Oh, okay, there you go. I got it. Okay, cut it off, just like that, with my wire cutters, or with my pliers. Now my pliers, I got my pliers at Lowe's a few years ago, and this is Cobalt. It's called Cobalt. I've always had a problem with these pliers. Anytime I try to squeeze on there, look at that. I mean, I've got to lift out on it. It's not designed. It's not supposed to do that. And I hate these pliers, and I think that's why the cutter was giving me a little bit of a trouble there. And they told me, hey, just bring them back. You've got 100% warranty on them. So if anything happens to it, you can take them back and get a free pair. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm just taking my wire strippers, and I'm stripping off a little piece. And I'm looking at the black one. I'm going to make that one just about the same, about a 1/2 inch, 5/8. Okay, and these yellow wire nuts will still work on there. Okay, in a pinch. And like I said, I would have really preferred orange. And I could use my orange ones. I got some orange ones, some brand new orange ones, and then I could throw my yellows in the bag with all my other wire nuts, and then I could use these yellows for later on. But hey, you do what you want. There's always options to everything you do. Okay, so now I've got to kind of hold this up, and I can twist this up like that, and then I've got my stranded wire is just a hair longer, so I'm just going to twist it on there, and then hold my wire nut on there and twist it on there. I want to make sure this thing goes tight, and it's going tight. Okay, there. And you want to pull on your stranded wire to make sure it's on there. Okay. Sometimes you might think your wire nut's tight, and all of a sudden it comes off. So that's why I always check that. And I've got a little kink in this wire, but that's okay because that's giving me a little bit more of a thickness for that wire. So my yellow wire nut will fit on there, no problemos. Okay, I want to get my finger out of the way there. I want the wire to stay straight. Okay, get that on there. You don't have to be an electrician to do this. You just want to make sure your power's off. Okay, so I'm pulling on that, everything's fine. You should be able to let go of that. I've got a light bulb in here. I'm gonna take the light bulb out. Okay, that way it gives me a little bit more room to see where those little anchors are. Get the insulation out of my way a little bit. Now this had some tin foil on here that got ripped. The tin foil's for when the light bulb gets up there. And see, this was made years ago for incandescent bulbs, for when they get hot. This insulation or this film here, it's kind of like tin foil film. You know, protects it from getting too hot in there. But I'm probably not going to put this bulb back in there. This is an incandescent bulb, and I'll probably find an LED bulb that's just as bright, if not brighter than this, and it doesn't put off as much heat. Okay, so I'm just going to rearrange these wires, push them back up in there carefully. I got plenty of room in here because I only got one set of wires. So, but I still want to get them in there proper. Okay, zip them around there. Get your grubby fingers off of your ceiling. Make sure your wire is not in the way of your mounting screw that goes up in there and all that. And now it's all about a feel for where those screws are. Okay, and I wish I had some more light in here, but I don't. I could take my construction light or something, and I see it. See, I just had to wiggle it a little bit. Now I got that one. Now I can feel for this other one. Oh, it came off. Look at that. That's because these other wires were, I was wanting to make sure they didn't stick out. Okay, so now I got to do it again. That's okay. I see where the screw is, so I just have to kind of wiggle it a little bit. Because I got the 1 5/8" screws, it's giving me a little bit extra room to do that rather than the 1 1/8". Man, I had it before, didn't I? Okay, come on. I mean, if you can't get it, you may have to either, the best thing is to get a screw that is small enough to fit on there. You don't really want to do this to, you know, take the screw out and then put it in here, then hold it up in there and try to line it up. I mean, that's another way I can do it. But I'm hoping to not have to do it that way. There. Okay, I got that one. It's just the way you hold your mouth, I guess. Boy. See, I can't really, I might have to get my phone light out or something so I can see the screw. Oh, okay, I see it now. There. Okay, now I'm just going to twist this like that, because that gives the screw more room to tighten up against the metal. Okay. Now, the mounting screws that come with this are just a hair smaller than a drywall screw. But I didn't have those, and they didn't have them when I took it down. They had some funky other screws. You just make this snug. You don't have to overdo it. Okay? There you go. For the sake of argument, I'm going to use this bulb just to make sure it works, or make sure the light fixture works. I'm making the assumption the light bulb works too, right? There you go. Now I'm gonna go and try to find an LED bulb that might work here just as well. But you can still use incandescent light bulbs they just heat up. They take more wattage too, because this light bulb, I think it's a 60 watter. Let's just see what it is. Sometimes it's hard to see what wattage it is. And sometimes you have to go outside and look at it. I can't really tell on here. I know it's either a 40 or a 60 watt. And the replacement for an LED is probably like 13 watts or less. So anytime you can do an LED is better. Plus the LEDs last longer. Plus the LEDs don't heat up in your light fixture like an incandescent light bulb. Okay? So I'm gonna try to find one. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna zoom this back just a hair. Now see, here's not an incandescent, a CFL, which is a compact fluorescent light bulb. Okay, now this is a smaller one. This is probably the equivalent of a 40 watt, but here I've got an LED, and this is the equivalent of I believe a 60 watt, and it said it only puts off 5.7 watts. That's it. So let's just I'm going to turn the light. I'm turning the light switch on. Let's just check this out here for a minute. Okay. And I don't usually do this with light switches on, but you know, now see how much light that is? Just try to visualize that. The bulb is already heating up in my hand too, just that long. Okay, and here's the compact fluorescent. This is probably the equivalent of a 40 watt bulb. See, it's not that bright, and they decided to do that because they couldn't get a longer one in there before it hit this light fixture, because this light fixture globe is kind of small, and the end of the compact fluorescent takes up lots of room. Okay, so this is probably a 40 watt comparison. This one is probably a 60 watt comparison. Let's just see. Okay, that puts off just as much light as the incandescent, if not more, doesn't it? And you can let this go and for an hour, and then you can unscrew it pretty much basically without letting it cool down, because they don't heat up very much at all. They're so much more energy efficient too. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to save these bulbs, and these will be like emergency bulbs only whenever an LED burns out or something else happens and I need a light bulb really quick for a trouble light or who knows what. Okay? And so that's that. Now I'm going to take the cover. And are all covers created equal? Heavens, no. You always have to kind of look and be careful on removing one, because they don't all go the same way. Now this one's got threads on it, and so I got to just set it up here carefully and kind of find where it is to start screwing it. And then, see, that almost looks tight, doesn't it? I didn't even do anything. Good grief. Ah, that's not good. I'm trying to move it. Ah, good Lord. I'm going to put my rubber gloves on. See, I'm supposed to be able to fit it and twist it on there. Now, I got it in just the exact position that I didn't want, to where it's not coming on. It's not going on any further or coming back off. I don't know how I did that. Nothing's happening. I'm gonna have to and see, I think this is glass. I don't want to mess with it too much. it's supposed to kind of fit loosely, and then you turn it on. You twist it on. But it went over just exactly in the wrong spot or the right spot, because I can't even take it down. I'm going to have to work on that a little bit. I've got to get up there a little bit higher so that I can use a little bit more force, and I'll have to put my goggles on because I don't want to leave it like this. It could loosen up later when it gets hot, when I turn the light switch on. Mommy could be in here, it could fall down on her. So I can't leave it like that. So I'm going to have to, good grief. I got to get the tall ladder in here. I didn't really want to do that either, but see, I don't have anything taller. I'm going to have to get on my goggles on and work on that a little bit. I can't leave it like that, and I don't want you to either. The joys of reusing existing things. Hey, I just installed another one of these earlier, and I also see, when I'm looking from down here, I'm also seeing that that some of the insulation, oh no, that's paint. Oh, good grief. See, there's paint from the last person who installed this. They didn't take it down before they painted the ceiling. And had I been looking at that dabbity nabbit, I would have cleaned that off with my fingernail, with a putty knife, or I could have flipped that around the other direction, having it face the other way. So see, I'm not leaving it. I'm just not going to leave it. I don't do stuff like that. That's not my signature. It's good enough. It's not good enough. I'm gonna get that bulb, that globe out, down, and guess what I'm gonna do? Yes, I'm taking the whole thing back down and cleaning that paint off and reinstalling it. It doesn't take very long to reinstall, but my loss is your gain. Hey, no lie, I told you I was gonna do it. Here's the same one. Here's the paint. Here's some more paint. Here's all the paint that was there. I thought it was the insulation at first. I thought I could just lower it down a little bit and do it without disconnecting it, but hey, it didn't take very long to take it off. I finally got that globe down, the cover, and I'm going to spend a few minutes here and messing up my fingernails and stuff. If I use just a putty knife, I'll scratch off the white surface. So I'm probably going to use my fingernails and get that clean. You know what? This paint has been on there for years. I just got a scouring pad sponge. I just damped it, and it's working. Okay. This is what I call going the extra mile. Don't just say, well, the light fixture was crappy to begin with. Let's just reinstall the crappy thing, and it's got paint on it. It's the wrong color of paint because we painted the ceiling, and so it looks a little dirty around there. Who goes up in the closet anyways? Well, you know, that's not a really good way to think about stuff. You might have a tendency to carry that on through other aspects of your life, let's say. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know you. Right? But I like to, whenever I do a project, I like to do it as best as I can. If it takes me a few extra minutes, so be it. You know? Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. Does anybody really care what this light fixture looks like in a closet? Is Mommy ever going to look up there? Probably not. Am I going to tell her what I did? Probably not. Okay, now I've got to get the stranded wire straight again. Boy, I'm coughing a little bit because some of this insulation, some of this backing insulation, just enough as you're looking up falls down. I got a little tickle in my throat, just that. You know, when I was installing it, not just now. Let's see. I got that baby. This bad boy looks brand new, doesn't it? Look at that. Okay. I'll do a good job on it. Now I'm going to reinstall it, and we'll try again to install that globe. I got up there, I put my goggles on, and I got up there, and I really bared down on it. I was hoping I wasn't going to break it, and at first I thought that cover was hard plastic. I don't know if it is or not, but I don't really care. But it could be glass. Either way, it's going back up. So I'll show you that in a minute. Yeah, it took another 15 minutes out of my life, you know, but I like to do things right. I like to do things right. No joke, no paint around here now. It looks all nice and clean. Turn the light switch on. It still works. Son of a gun, still works. Okay. Now let's see if I can't get this about where it's supposed to be. Okay, now I can twist. See how far I can twist it there? See that? That far. And you just want it snug. You don't want to over tighten anything. It was just right on the threads, exactly in the wrong place, and I couldn't take it on. I couldn't put it on or take it off. Wouldn't that something? Okay, there you go. Now, an interesting thing, when you have a single bulb, you see where the bulb is up there. It's more facing towards the right, isn't it? It's brighter over on the right hand side than it is on the left hand side. Now, if you had had I been thinking, I could have rearranged that slightly differently so that the light, more of the light was going over to the left rather than the right. But that's okay. You know, if there was a bigger closet, and if this was on the right-hand side of the closet, I would have flipped it so that the bulb was facing the other way to give more light the other way. But because this is just a small little closet, it's fine. It actually will be okay. I ended up painting the ceiling instead of flat white paint. I painted it a flat or a semi-gloss white paint, and I put 2 coats up there. And then the walls, they're not flat, they're an eggshell. So see, I wanted to do that so that whatever light was up there, and because of the size of the closet and all that kind of stuff, wherever the light hits, it's going to bounce and reflect off to other areas. So, you know, I'm good with that. And does it really matter? I mean, you can think about it all day long. You can do whatever you want. I'm just giving you some thoughts and ideas for when you get ready to install your light fixture in your closet, because I know you're going to do it next time. I just know that you're going to be able to do that on your own. No matter what kind of light fixture you get at the store, it's going to go up pretty much the same. Some might have a mounting bracket in the back that you have to install first, and they all come with directions, and as long as the power's off, you can figure it out. It's easy. You can do it. Don't shy away from stuff like this. Oh, I need to put 5 light fixtures in the house and I don't know how to do electrical, so I hired an electrician. And guess what? You want him to put 5 of these up in closets? Guess how much he's going to charge you? Probably 150 bucks or so. Hey, his time's valuable. Had he not been doing this for you, he would have been making that money somewhere else. So his driving time, his overhead and profit, if he sends one of his guys, he still has to make he still has to make money too. He can't just have enough money to pay his worker. He's got to pay enough for his insurance, his his workers' comp, all his retirement, his medical, all that kind of stuff. So start thinking about doing certain things electrically on your own. And if you want to see more things, I show you all kinds of electrical things that you can do, and I feel comfortable that if I can do it, you can do it. I still got a little bit of that tingle of that insulation in my throat. So if you want to see any electrical video I have on my YouTube channel, I put in a playlist called Electrical Know-How or Everything Electrical or something like that. Just go to my YouTube channel on the main page. Go to the main page and then look where there's a whole list. It'll say all, and then it says videos, then it says playlists. It might say some other things about, and maybe one or two other things. Click on the playlists, and then you'll go to another screen and it will show you all the playlists I have provided and I have included on my YouTube channel for you. So anything electrically, scroll down to the electrical, and any electrical videos that I've ever posted to my channel will be in that section. Then you can scroll through the many electrical things I have. I got the same thing for painting, the same thing for plumbing, the same thing for ceiling fans, all kinds of stuff. Just look through there. You can have a video fun fest watching all my videos in one segment all night long if you want. You know, grab your bowl of popcorn, get your coffee brewing, and have at it. Okay, that's it for now. Hope you learned something. Hey, this works out perfectly so that, hey, if you don't like your existing light fixtures in your closet, go to the store, go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, go wherever, and find something that you like. And go ahead and replace it. What a nice little touch that you can do in your closet, in a storage area, in a bedroom ceiling even. You know, we've got a bedroom ceiling over here that there was a light fixture up in there, but I'm not going to reinstall it. There used to be a nice light right there. I've even got it. I got it down in here. See that round thing right there? That's the whole light. There's a fixture back behind there and all that kind of stuff. And I'm probably not going to reinstall it. But see, you could get a nice light for there, whatever. And in your other closets, here's a guest bedroom closet. See, same type. I installed that the other day. I even installed these shelves. I don't think I made a video of that, dabbing nabbit. And I took down all of these wall sconces, and they were electrical, and I don't think we're going to put them back up. We're going to find something else to put on the wall. But you know, if you can do one light fixture, you can do any light fixture, basically reinstalling it. These were wall sconces. This one, and then there's one there and one over here. And they were all connected on a four-way light switch. I don't know why they did that, because that means there's three different locations of where light switches are. And then I think they might have even put a dimmer switch on. Maybe not. And I'll have to look at that, because when I took those down, I should have ran them to see if one light switch turned them all on or whatever. And I'm not quite sure. I think I turned one light switch on and some of them went on. And I wasn't really paying attention, and a couple of them have burnout bulbs and stuff. And I think they're on a four-way light switch. And see, when we get ready to replace them, we were thinking maybe we wanted those two wall sconces to be on its own separate switch in there, and have two different matching ones there, and then have maybe these two matching, or we could do different ones that kind of matched and stuff. And I thought, oh man, I think when we turn on the light switch, all of them are going to go on at the same time. So I should have checked that out. So there's a tip for you. When you get ready to paint, and see, I took them all down to repaint, and I thought I was going to put them back up like for like, and so I wasn't really too concerned about it, because they were all matching. Then Momi threw a curveball and said, she doesn't think she likes those. They were 15 years old. They look a little dated, slightly. And so we're thinking about putting something else up there, okay? And so I should have checked that out a little bit more closely. I mean, they don't look bad. They don't look bad. See, there's 4 of them right there, and here's the mounting brackets and all that kind of stuff. And so I should have checked that. But hey, don't shy away from your electrical. Okay, check out my channel. I show you all kinds of stuff. I show you how to install light switches, electrical outlets. Take an existing electrical outlet box out so that you can fish a wire up a wall. Install a cut-in box behind a mounted TV. Bring the coaxial cable down from a cut-in box down to a new cut-in box. All kinds of stuff like that. Taking out a single gang electrical light switch, cutting it out and putting a 2-gang, fishing a wire from there up to a ceiling fan, putting a 2-gang box in there, rewiring 2 switches now instead of 1, all kinds of stuff like that. You don't need an electrician for that. I'm telling you, if you just know a few basics and you have the power off before you start, don't work on hot wires, okay? You can do it. And see, you might be asking, what am I gonna install here if I'm not gonna put a light in there? Well, I'm gonna put a ceiling fan. I'll probably put a ceiling fan that has a light kit, light head on it, and then it will be on a handheld remote. So if I want the light on, if I want more light on, you know, these 2 switches were for well, no, they weren't. Well, they might have been. I'm not quite sure now. See, I think there's a second set of wires up in there, and I'll bet you that one of these was going to be for a ceiling fan. One was going to be for a light. In the old days, they didn't have the handheld remotes. They had one light switch was for the light for the ceiling fan, and one was for the power for the ceiling fan. Then you'd still have to pull the chain, high, medium, low, off, high, medium, low, off. Boom, 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 boom. Nowadays, you only need one light switch that you have just power up there. Then you put this little box up in there, little module sensor to a handheld remote. So if you want the light on, fine. You want the ceiling fan, fine. You want it high, medium, low, fine. You want it reversed, fine. All that kind of stuff. Because see, in most bedrooms, you can have 2 switches here, one going up for the ceiling fan. One, usually like this, is controlled for the top of an electrical outlet on both sides of your bed, let's say. And then you plug in your lamp to the right electrical duplex outlet, the top or the bottom, whichever one is wired that way, and your light will go on. Well, I don't think this one works that way. Let's just see. I don't think it did. I think I checked it before. See, this doesn't do anything, and then even if I change it, it doesn't do anything, which I'm pretty sure both of these go up to the ceiling fan location. But see, I'm gonna be installing a ceiling fan. Do I have how to install a ceiling fan on my YouTube channel? Of course I do. Of course I do. How to fix a wobbling ceiling fan. How to install a ceiling fan light switch. How to run a ceiling fan. All kinds of different good electrical things. Here's a big old smoke alarm up there. Yes, I show you how to install a smoke detector, how to remove an old smoke detector, how to install a new smoke detector, how to test the smoke detector, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's on my YouTube channel too. All kinds of stuff that if I can do it, you can do it. And my motto is always, hey, I'm just an average Joe. If I can do it, you can do it. So I won't post anything I think you can't do. Okay? So anything on my channel, guess what? I think you can do too. All right? Check it out and save your money. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos.